love it. We were here last year, and were any of you by chance there last year with us? A good amount of you. How many of you is it your first time with us at a show? How many of you? Well, welcome. I'm glad you came. I'm just gonna get some water.
Take your time.
So, how about giving it up for Gracie Schramm? Isn't she just... She's a remarkable girl. She was here with us last year as well, and I just love everything she's about so much, and she's so talented. I just keep inviting her to come do these shows. So what an amazing... She's done so much, and she is only 18 years old. I can't believe she's raised so much money for orphans and built just, all this stuff. It just shows that the power of one person can do. You don't underestimate yourself, and don't underestimate, even if you're just in high school like Gracie was when she did all that stuff, or probably even younger. Anyway, it's great to be here with you all tonight. I like to tell little thoughts or stories that I write down. I write down a lot of my thoughts in my notes in my phone, and so I like to share one of those with you right now, and I'll share a few more. If you were here last year, you might recognize some, and you will hear some new ones as well. But this one is this song I'm going to sing was on an album I did that was a cover album, and it was an album called Begin, and it was an album that I did, is it 4 years ago? 4.5 years ago. And it was one I did right before I left for a 2-year hiatus to go as a missionary in Chile for 2 years. Thank you. And a lot of people were confused. They were like, wait, what? What are you doing? For how long? And a lot of people were asking why. Why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. And why have you decided to just fall off the face of the earth, as they would put it? And so I tried explaining it to a few people. Well, I tried my best, but I also realized a lot of people didn't really understand. For me, I was like, well, it's a spiritual experience, and it's a religious decision, and a lot of people didn't even come from that. They didn't come from a Christian or even a religious background at all. And so I thought, okay, how can I help people connect and understand to this experience? And I thought, well, what better way than music? Music has a way of getting to people and to their hearts in a way that I feel like no other way can. And where words often fail, music speaks. And it can, the Spanish words like llegar, can get to, just get to your heart, like the depth of your soul, I don't know. Something like that. And so I chose a bunch of songs. They weren't like hymns or anything. They were just songs that I felt said something that I could connect to where I was going now as a missionary. As a Mormon missionary. And so I picked these songs, and this is one of them that I chose. And this song, it always reminds me of my sisters. Because my sisters, and a lot of girls really, I've heard a lot of girls say this as well, it really bothered me when I would hear my sisters say that they didn't think they're beautiful, and that they don't think they're beautiful. And I would think, well, why? Why do they think that? And I would see how they would go on the social media, Instagram and Snapchat and all these things, and they'd say, oh, I wish I had that girl's eyelashes, or that girl's dress, or that girl's boyfriend, and that girl's shoes, and that girl's hair, and that girl's family. All these things, and I watched as they kept comparing themselves to these pictures and these little clips little snaps of perfection of the moment that that person was smiling or that person was posed. And I mean, if you think about it, really, if you're comparing yourself to that, you see how, I think we all do it. It's like, we're like, oh, no. Oh, I need the light. It's all, so it's really not a realistic picture to compare yourself to. And so I was like, I just want my sisters to see themselves as beautiful the way I feel that they are. And that's not just because I'm biased as their brother. But I got to thinking one day about it, and I just thought, well, what does make someone beautiful? And as I was, writing this down, and it usually starts with a question. I don't usually have the answer. I usually start with the question on my notes, and then the answer comes. Well, not the answer, but just another, I don't know. But I'll tell you, and you can decide what you think of it. But so I wrote down, I'm like, what does make someone beautiful? And then the thought came to me, and it hit me, and it said, a girl is beautiful, or a person is beautiful when they radiate light. And you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their smile, you can see it in their actions. And I thought, well, where does the light come from? Like, how does someone get that light? And then this other thought hit me. And it said, well, that light comes when, we're all children of God. And when we come to know that and really live that, we start gaining that light. And it starts getting brighter and brighter. And so I love it when a girl can turn that light on in David. I think that's just, I think that's beautiful. I feel like as you start shining that light, being true to who you are, knowing what your true identity is, and start sharing that and living that way, it starts like making all these other light bulbs turn on. It starts helping. It's like contagious in a way. And that's what I love about this idea of, what real beauty is, because it really is attached to that light, and light increases. Light can increase, and so that means beauty can also increase. So if any of you have thought the same thoughts, made the same comparisons as my sisters, I want you to think about that. And maybe you think, well, I don't have a light. Okay, if you're beautiful, I'm not beautiful, and I don't even have a light, so great, double whammy. But I want you to think of that, how it can really grow. And if you don't know where to go, surround yourself with people where you see that light. Because light cleaves unto light. Light cleaveth unto light. And I really am a firm believer of that. So this song is for my sisters and to any of you who felt the same way, and it's called Beautiful.
Don't you bring me down today. Yeah. heart to fill that emptiness. The peace is gone and the blood's no longer got the way. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words won't bring you down. You are beautiful in every single way. Words won't bring you down. Oh no, don't you bring me down today. No matter where we go, no matter what we say. Don't you bring me down today. Hey, don't you bring me down today. Yeah. Don't you bring